They're the fastest metal cars you've ever seen. Mattel's new Hot Wheels. Collect them by themselves or get them in...
Hot Wheels has been around for 50 whole years. Of course, that's way longer than I've even existed. When I was younger, oftentimes if there was one toy I would ask for on Christmas or for my birthday, it would be something Hot Wheels. I've realized, though, that I would always get something, play around with it for up to a week, and then I would just forget about it. I still have a bunch of old sets lying around in my garage, with a lot of them being too bulky to efficiently store since I don't even know how to disassemble them or fold them into a more compact shape. Not only that, there are so many pieces missing that I could probably build a whole new Hot Wheels set just out of all the scraps we've got lying around in my garage. The main reason for this, I believe, is because all the Hot Wheels sets tell a different story. Things like giant robots, sea monsters, and sharks. Seriously, what is it with Hot Wheels and sharks?
Crunchy!
But since those stories take the form of a toy from Mattel, they don't last long, and they're often over in moments. So that's why people like collecting the cars, because you can do anything with them. You can even put them in a controller. The Hot Wheels games of the early 2000s were my jam, and it's completely possible that they were your jam too. Things like Velocity X, World Race, Stunt Track Driver 1, Stunt Track Driver 2. I can go back to these games nowadays, and I still genuinely enjoy them. I'm surprised at how good they are. Now, I still played some of the Hot Wheels games in the later 2000s, such as Beat That and Track Attack, but they never really struck a chord with me. There was one game I found interesting in particular, and that was Race the World. I said Race the World. Yeah, someone thought it was a good idea to name the game Race the World after already having a game and a movie called World Race, and they don't even make it too clear what the game's name even is at first. And then they made a kids book of the same name, which just makes things even more complicated. I'll clear it up for you. Turbo Driver, the software you actually have to buy, is used to make the controller function. Race the World is the game that you could download off of Hot Wheels' website back in 2008 when the game was released. That's the thing, you could download it. This game is no longer available to acquire off the official Hot Wheels website, or at least as far as I know it isn't. So I've got the one copy of this game publicly known to exist. I don't even know if Mattel owns it anymore, so I could put up a download, maybe? I'm not sure, I need some more research.
Hey there, welcome to the team. Blaze Wheelie here.
So when you start the game, the introduction video has professional driver Blaze Wheelie introducing himself. That is a cool name, if I've ever heard one. He selected me to take on a team of drivers called the Boulevard Bruisers in multiple races, with the prize being the automobile wonders of the world, special modifications for cars that enable them to do things like drive on lava, drive underwater, drive on spider webs, etc. If the Boulevard Bruisers collect the auto wonders, they'll exploit them in competitive racing, and us being the
epic gamers
we are, we just can't let that happen.
Welcome, Racer. Now, as you know, I chose you to race for my team over some of the best drivers in the world.
What? Why? So this is the main menu. We have the options of quick race mode, story mode, pit stop, registration, game credits, help, and a quit button. Also this picture in case you forgot what Blaze Wheelie looks like. I'm gonna go into registration and...
New racers to the left, experienced racers to the right. Come on, keep moving through the line, people. Let's go.
Okay. I'm gonna register myself as Meteor since that's what I go by online, and meteors are also fast.
Welcome, Racer. Now, as you know, I chose you to race.
Alright, the thing you might notice while navigating the menus of this game is that Blaze narrates everything.
I knew I'd see you here sooner or later. You've worked hard to win these auto wonders. These hallowed halls mark the achievements of my top racers. Here in the garage, you can swap out your car registration with another one in your collection. Pretty cool stuff, huh?
I mean, it's not that annoying, but I could definitely go without it. It helps the first time you're in the menu, but after that it just kind of becomes needless. Hold on. Okay, so that is a thing you can do. So I'm going to head into story mode, where you can pick any track. I'm going to start with the most basic one, the Grand Prix.
The Grand Prix.
Whatever. This is probably a good time to start talking about the main catch of this game. You cannot play it without using the controller. Not only that, but you won't be able to drive any car unless you actually have that car in real life. This game is actually an early example of the Toys to Life game formula. With the game, there were 8 special Hot Wheels cars called cartridges released, and each one locks onto the Turbo Driver controller and gives you that car in the game along with its respective Auto Wonder. And these tracks are pretty much unbeatable without their respective cars. In each race, there are 9 racers, you and 8 Boulevard Bruisers driving all the different vehicles, with one of those vehicles being the car whose ability corresponds to that racetrack. So, unless you buy all the cars, this game is more than a little hard. There are pretty much 2 sides to the gameplay. 1, you don't have the special car, so you get to race with everyone else. The best place you can come in is second since the guy with the special car is way ahead of all of you. And 2, you do have the special car, so basically the only guy you're actually racing is the other special car, while every other racer is way behind you. This ultimately kind of breaks the balance of the whole racing thing. Fortunately, over the years, I've amassed the full 8-car collection, and there aren't even many missing parts, so we'll be able to access the full game. Eventually, I'm able to finish the Grand Prix track in first place and acquire the Speed Auto Wonder. You can actually have up to 2 Auto Wonders equipped, the one that comes with your car, and one that you can select in the pit stop menu I mentioned earlier. Of course, you can only use an Auto Wonder once you've unlocked it.
The Volcano. This track is hot. Literally.
It sure is. This is where you start to see the issues with the whole Auto Wonder system. I have the cartridge for the Volcano stage, the RDO4, so I'm able to drive on lava through shortcuts like these. That is a big shortcut, and there are 3 of them on this track. You know how in real racing there are pace cars always driving in front of everyone else to stop them from getting too far ahead? Well, you know, because there isn't really anything like that here. So, like I said before, the only other car you're actually up against is the only other driver that has the stage's special car. In some stages, I can get so far ahead of everyone else that I actually end up behind everyone else, and sometimes I even pass them. So the next stage is...
The Islands. Dive right into this challenging track.
I mean, he's not kidding. The cartridge for this stage is the Shark Cruiser. Fittingly enough, it allows you to go underwater. I actually kind of like the music for this stage. Most, if not all, of the music in this game is just generic rock music, which as far as I know has been what Hot Wheels has stuck with ever since. Kind of a shame because some of their older games had really good soundtracks. Next is...
The Arctic. This track is for cool drivers.
Yep. This stage's cartridge is the Invader, a car I had no idea could shoot its missile until a few months ago. It can plow through snow by enabling no-clip. You might have noticed by now these floating coins around the track, modeled after the coins from Hot Wheels Stunt Track Driver 2. I don't think they actually do anything besides unlock an achievement if you collect them all. Also, you should always turn right when you're on this frozen lake. Going any other direction just leads to a dead end for some reason. But there are coins.
The Jungle. This is a tough race through the rainforest of South America.
Oh, no puns. Okay. In this stage, we drive the Arachno Rod, a car that has the ability to drive on spider webs. As you can probably tell, most of the Auto Wonders are basically just keys to shortcuts. I'd also like for you to take a moment to admire this inexplicably huge spider. Yeah, these graphics aren't really that good. Remember that this game was released in 2008. There were lots of PC games back in those days that looked much better than this. Compared to something like Portal, the way this game looks makes you think it came out in the early 2000s, maybe even before that. But I think that's excusable. Race the World is the kind of game that's supposed to be playable on any computer, while the graphically superior ones are for people more dedicated to video games.
The Streets. City racers, start your engines.
This stage takes place in anime. The Drift King is our car this time around, and its special ability is drifting. You'd think that drifting is an ability that doesn't really enable any alternate pathways, but this game is a different case. Why can't I go this way exactly? Because you need the drift ability. Not you're actually really drifting that much here.
The Desert. Make opponents eat your dust on this rocky track.
In this track, we're driving the Dakar. Fun fact, for a long time, I didn't have the Volcano RDO4 or the Desert Dakar. my collection was limited to only 6 of the 8 cartridges. What I didn't know is that we actually had these 2 cars in their original packaging for years in our garage. I think my parents were going to give them to me for either my birthday or Christmas, but they didn't because they thought I had lost interest in the game. We found them again only a few months ago.
The sky. If you love to fly, this is the race for you. Whoa, wrong way!
After beating all the other tracks and collecting all the Auto Wonders, you unlock the final racetrack, the World Race.
The World Race.
According to Blaze, our skills will be seriously tested on this track. Funnily enough, the Hot Wheels game that actually goes by the name World Race tested my skills much more than this stage in the game did. That game was hard. This track is a tour through every environment you've been through in the game. The thing is, only some of these areas give you opportunities to use your Auto Wonders. If you're driving a Shark Cruiser to go underwater with a Flight Auto Wonder to fly, tough luck because this stage has neither spots to fly through or water to go under. Or at least I didn't see any. You probably won't do very well in that case. Anyway, as with most of the tracks, I'm able to complete it after a replay or 2. And that is the end.
You did it! First place on the World Rally! Yes! I knew I chose the right driver to race on my team and beat out Boulevard Bruisers. Your driving skills top anyone on the Turbo Driver circuit. And you're... Wow! Now this is a blast from the past. Hey, follow me. You've got more racing to do.
Huh. And that's Hot Wheels Race the World. This game has some achievements you can collect as well as a shop where you can buy stunts, horns, and car effects, which don't even really look that good, for points that you get for winning races. For a racing game, it could be much better. The Auto Wonder system sounds neat on paper, but really it just throws the game off balance. There's not really that much challenge to beating the tracks other than having to find all the cartridges because of it. So yeah, I think the best reason to have the game itself is because it's so rare. You can say that again for the cars too, because they're not very easy to find around 10 years later. I actually didn't find this game bad or unenjoyable. I found it kind of relaxing to just cruise through the game with little difficulty. It's just that it lacks genuinely balanced mechanics for a racing game. And there's no multiplayer either, although for me that doesn't make much of a difference. Oh, and it's also pretty easy to replace the game assets with other things so you can have stuff like this. That's pretty fun. Race the World is obscure to the point that it lacks an actual Wikipedia page, although the Turbo Driver controller does have a page on the Hot Wheels Wikia, which I'll link in the description if you want to research this game some more. And don't forget the credits. I'll show those to you too, so you can look up the developers. Here they are. Good luck. So this thing's a tool that I can put colorful keystones into in order to use their special abilities. Now this puts a smile on my face.